Good evening, friends. This is Santa Claus coming to you on this November 12, 2025, a date that reminds us of Ellis Island closing its doors back in 1954 after welcoming millions of hopeful souls to America's shores. Oh my, what a day of news we have before us. In Washington, the House of Representatives is preparing to vote on ending what has become the longest government shutdown in American history. My heart goes out to all those federal workers waiting for their paychecks and the families depending on food assistance programs. I do hope our representatives will think of those in need first. After all, service to others is what truly matters, isn't it? As I always say, it's better to give than to receive. Meanwhile, across the globe, the G7 diplomats are meeting with Ukraine's foreign minister in Canada. The poor Ukrainian people are facing a difficult winter with power outages from Russian attacks. They're asking for more air defense systems, which reminds me of how we all need shelter from the storms of life. And speaking of Ukraine, General Syrskyi reports that Russian forces have overrun 3 settlements in the Zaporizhzhia region, taking advantage of the fog to advance. The Ukrainian defenders are fighting bravely in Pokrovsk, where the battles are fiercest. With a heavy heart, I must also share that Ukraine is facing internal challenges too. A close ally of President Zelensky has been accused in a $100 million corruption scandal. Oh dear, this is troubling news indeed. Even in the most difficult times, we must remember that integrity and honesty light the path forward. Turning our attention to the Holy Land, masked Israeli settlers have attacked Palestinian villages in the West Bank, setting fire to vehicles and other property. This saddens my old heart deeply. In this season and all seasons, we should be building bridges of peace, not walls of division. I've also learned that President Trump has written to Israeli President Herzog asking him to pardon Prime Minister Netanyahu, who faces corruption charges. We must always pray for wisdom for all our leaders as they navigate such complex matters. In the Americas, concerning reports suggest Venezuela is preparing for potential conflict, despite their military facing shortages and poor conditions. The USS Gerald Ford, America's largest aircraft carrier, has arrived in waters near Latin America, adding to tensions. Let us hope cooler heads prevail, for blessed are the peacemakers. Across the border between Thailand and Cambodia, tensions have sadly turned deadly, with at least one person killed amid accusations of border violations and landmine placements. A ceasefire that was negotiated has now been suspended. How we need the spirit of goodwill to heal these divisions. On a lighter note, there's a small recovery in global wine production after a terrible 2024 harvest, though it remains below the 5-year average as climate change affects vineyards worldwide. Even in this small matter, we see how interconnected we all are and how we must care for this beautiful world entrusted to us. As night falls on this November day, I encourage everyone to look for ways to bring light into someone else's darkness. Remember, every act of kindness, no matter how small, adds another twinkle to the night sky of humanity. This is Santa Claus wishing you peace, hope, and love until we meet again.